Last week, on the Aviator Show, the Paradigm aerobatic team has assembled at the Lake Wales Airport. With only time for a few practices, they have to work out the kinks in their performance just days before their show at Sun and Fun 2021.
From the crowd's perspective, it looked like you guys were hitting each other every time.
Break in 3, 2, 1, break.
That was beautiful.
Only a few more tweaks and they'll be dialed in. This week, on the Aviator Show, we follow an Aviator alumni as he shares his story of what it's like to prepare for a cross-country into the busy Lakeland Linder International Airport during the second largest fly-in in America.
Well, first of all, if you're going to do a cross-country, you want to make sure you don't take off with any air in that fuel can. You want to fill that all the way up to the rim.
If you enjoyed paramotoring content, consider liking and subscribing to this channel.
Welcome to my home. I live here in this 18-foot travel trailer. My name's James Parker. I graduated Aviator in July of 2021, and we're going to show you how I set up for a cross-country flight from here at the chalet to Sun and Fun, which is at Lakeland. So the things to be concerned with is where you're going to launch from, where you're going to land at, what's the route that you're going to take, what's the weather like, what direction the wind is going, who you're coordinating on the ground with, and what sort of communication you're going to take with you while you're on the air. Let's start out with where am I launching from. I'll be launching from the Chalet Suzanne, which is a private grass strip airport right next to the Chalet Suzanne. The Chalet Suzanne back in the day was a bed and breakfast that people flew to from all over the world, but nowadays it's the Refuge on a Ridge, which is a faith-based drug and alcohol rehab center. The next thing that's really important if you're going to fly into Sun and Fun is, well, you have to get registered. Once you get registered and you want to do a fly-in, you have to register your aircraft just like any other airplane. These ultralights that we fly is classified under FAR 103, and you've got to let them know that you're coming. So you fill out the registration form for your aircraft. And for me, as this was my first time going to Sun and Fun, they didn't really know who I was. So they wanted to see me in person, and they wanted to show which direction the traffic is going to be in for the ultralight place, and also what to expect when I do fly in, and what they expect from me when I'm flying in. For them, they wanted to know when I was going to be coming in first thing in the morning. They have a window for the ultralights, which is right at sunrise to about 9 a.m. And they wanted to know when I was leaving and about when I was expected to be there. And so day of, right before our launch, I sent them a text. I'm like, okay, here's when I'm taking off and here's about when I'll be arriving. And they had a guy out there that had my wing description, and he was looking for me to come in. When planning the route, first you need to know the layout of the airport that you're going to be arriving at. So here's the Sun and Fun grounds. This airport is the main landing strip for all aircraft that are coming in. And down here is Paradise City, where the light planes and the ultralights will be operating out of. What's important here is that this is on the south side of the airport, which is going to dictate which way I'm be approaching Lakeland. Here's an aerial photograph of the ultralight grass strip, which is right here. One of the main things I need to know is which direction the wind is going. Today the wind was coming from the northeast to the southwest, which means that the landing direction on the grass strip airport is to the east. And what that means is they don't want us flying anywhere north of the grass strip runway, and so that means that we have to have a clockwise pattern. So when I come in from the south, I will enter the pattern, make a right hand, and then land right here on the grass strip runway. Here's the sectional for the area that I'll be operating out of. Here is the Chalet Suzanne airstrip. I will not be able to go straight from the Chalet Suzanne to Lakeland International. There's a couple of reasons for that. One is that this Class D airspace is in between the direct line there, so I'll need to either go north or south of it. And the other reason is because of where populated areas are. If you see here, the yellow is the most densely populated areas, and I want to steer clear of that. So between the Class D airspace and this populated area, I would want to go to the south, just south of Bartow. So my route will be from the Chalet Suzanne. I will go south to Lake Wales Municipal Airport. I will go south of Bartow. I will go south of Milton, which is right here, and then I will come up north and then arrive at the Paradise City grass strip runway south of the airport here. Whenever I'm doing a planning distance-wise for a cross-country, I like to use Google Maps, and I like to use the layer that allows us to clearly see the roads. And so what I do is you can right-click on Google Maps here and you can measure distance. And what this allows you to do is as you continue to click, you can plan your route out and it will let you know how far the overall route is. And so I'm going to roughly do this right now, and we've got 38 miles. The next step, once you've generally planned it out, is to then see what do your landouts look like. And so once you have your route planned out, you can zoom in like this and you can see whether you're flying over city or whether you're flying over water, or if you're flying over trees, mountains, etc. And then you want to inspect the entirety of your route to make sure you've got good landout areas. The next step is you need to set waypoints for your flight. I use a program on my Android phone called PPGPS that allows me to put in waypoints. What I like to do is, so my first waypoint that I'm going to put in is just south of Bartow. So if you click on the ground, you can get this XY coordinate that you can then put in as a waypoint to make sure that you don't get lost. Here for this route, I'm going to have a waypoint. I'm okay with this area. I fly in this area a lot and I understand this. I have a waypoint here south of Bartow. I have a waypoint here on this corner in this Willow Oak Mulberry area. And then I'll have a waypoint at my final destination. And then while I'm in the air, I will follow those waypoints to make sure that I stay on track. As for weather, you would check it just like any other normal flight, except you want to check it at the takeoff location as well as where you're landing. Today it's clear skies, although there is going to be some low-lying fog to be concerned about. For the wind, today the wind is coming from the northeast. At about 1,000 feet, we get a 7-mile-an-hour wind. So this is going to mostly help me get to my destination. An important aspect about ground coordination, anytime you're doing a cross country where you can't see where you launch from, or really even then, you want to make sure somebody knows that you're in the air and you have some way of communicating with them if you have an issue and you have to land out. For me, I take my cell phone, and in this area the cell phone reception is good, although I do have a Garmin InReach satellite communicator device that allows me to send text to cell phones. On this day, I had 2 people, one near Lake Wells, one near Lakeland, that would be able to help retrieve me if I did have an issue along the way. So for equipment that I'll be taking in the air, of course I'll have my reserve, but also I'll have my cell phone, and I'm going to have my Garmin InReach satellite communicator. Although the cell in this area is pretty good, I like to have that as a backup as well. I've been dreaming of doing a true cross country for months now. Turns out sun and fun is it. Everything's perfect. Wind is going to be at my back, the weather's looking pretty good, and this has been on my bucket list for quite some time. We're heading out to the Chalet Suzanne Grass Airstrip, where I'll start the 40-mile trip to Lakeland International. I'm cleared to launch, and the prep work has been completed, and it should only take about an hour and a half in the air. Ain't no sense in leaving any air in the fuel tank. All right, we're up in the air and I can see some low-lying fog. It gets worse as you keep going west, so let's get down to the airport and see what it looks like down there. All right, I'm down at Lake Wales Airport and it is socked out. I can see the students down there. They're right next to this wall. But hey, check it out, it's Tandem Bob. He's giving tandems to first-time people in the air. Let's go hang out. Oh, check it out, that dude. He's practicing for the air show. He's got his smoke on, he's doing a loop-de-loop. Check it out.
Hold the A's in his hand, he's going to push it up, just like the other guys do. My trike actually has A assist on it, so you really don't have to push on it. I just take a hold of it so I can feel the wind once the lines come off the tee.
Heck yeah, man! Really? I wouldn't have been able to do it if you hadn't, because I wouldn't have been able to get the truck over here.
I know, you know?
I made my way to Sun and Fun. The wind was at my back about 10 miles an hour, so I got good headway, good speed, and it was just a wonderful flight.
Next week on the Aviator Show, the Paradigm team get their game face on as it's showtime.
We figured that you guys wanted to fly, and there was no way we were stopping. So I can't tell you how much we appreciate y'all having the guts to come out here and join us in this crusade to get America open back up again and make it happen.
Been meeting a lot of cool people, and the thing that keeps on coming up that I cannot believe is how often people keep on saying,
I gotta say, when you were doing that, the stack coming in, I took a couple videos. That was amazing. I can't believe how cool this thing is.
They have 2 performances on 2 separate days.
The fat old guy, you know, I can't run anymore. I gotta use the wheels.
Judson Graham takes his skills as a rising talent as a filmmaker and vlogs his entire act.
Yeah, Bo. Yes.
It's all happening next week, right here on the Aviator Show. Thanks for watching. Do you want more great episodes like this? Please consider liking and subscribing, and click that bell notification so you don't miss another episode.